So first of all, how are you?
Good, good, very good. Trying to finish the day. This time, it's much more complicated because in Spain it's after lunch, so we are a little bit asleep.
Yes, I was
No,
talking
no, no, but
earlier about this.
yes, but good, good. Today, as you can see, we are a little bit less people, but well, I hope in any case we are going to enjoy it. And it's also important to tell to Paolo that, as maybe he knows, we are going to recall this session. So in any case, all the other participants will have the opportunity to see it later on. So
Yeah,
in any case, it's interesting.
exactly. Paolo, can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Definitely. Everything is
Perfect.
okay. It works.
Great.
I'm going to, if you want, I can switch on the camera.
Yes,
Right.
please. Before, I'm just going to give a short introduction about today's meeting, and then I will give you the stage. So yesterday we dealt with some blue projects with Carlo Brandini, the head of oceanography sector of Lamma Consortium. We have seen the importance of data for blue economy companies, such as fishers who can find the best ship route or know the temperature of the sea. And we also had some example of blue projects to prevent the coastal erosion. Today, instead, we will have the pleasure to meet Paolo Sospiro, director of EU About and teacher of professor of Università Politecnica delle Marche and University of Florence. And he's involved in research and services of different interests: energy, transport, waste management, climate change, circular economy, and other sectors. Today, he will present us two blue projects. One about the seaweed, so entonces las algas, called Waste Energy to Microalgae, and the other project is called Pelican, and is about the cleaning ship project. So thank you very much, Paolo, for being here today and for your availability.
Thank you all of you, of course, to invite me. And well, whenever you want, we can start.
Okay, yes. So I will give you, I will stop my presentation so you can share yours.
Yep. Okay, so this one, like this, and then this one. Can you see it?
Yes, perfectly.
So first of all, I just wanted to briefly to explain that this presentation, I'm going to, let's say, go, let's say, to present briefly some slides, while I'm going to go to a bit more in detail in some others, but mainly the main, let's say, idea it is that with this presentation, you will get at least, I mean, the opportunity that you can get it, and so whenever you want, you can go on it, and then you can check it whatever I said during this presentation. So it is quite long, let's say, presentation, because I think it is about 37, 38, something like this. Actually, I don't remember. Well, let me check. Well, yeah, it is 39, let's say, slides of presentation. But of course, many of them are pictures. And by the way, I'm not going to, let's say, to go into the details. I mean, with all let's say, the slides. The main idea, as I used to do, it is that I prepare quite full and comprehensive presentation in order that then you can have, I mean, the opportunity to, in case you can have the opportunity, I mean, to review, I mean, the whole presentation when you have time. So it is just a kind of a handouts. While during the presentation, of course, I am going to go quickly in some slides, and some other slides I will go a bit slowly. So as Julia said before, you asked me, I mean, to introduce two main projects that we are following and we are supervising here in Brussels, as you about, and as well as we are working with as Polytechnic University, as far as concerned the second project, and the University of Florence for the first project. So the first one, it is a project in the Canary Island, so it is not so far from you. It is about waste to energy to microalgae, and it is about 85-91 million euro. While the second one, it is a clean ship project, and it is a bit, it is less than, well, this one we started just a few months ago, so I think by the end it might be about 4 or 5 millions. And then what else? I just want to briefly introduce you how we used to work as you about and how I used to work. It means that we are not going to work in a specific project, but we are going to work on let's say on development the whole idea. So it means, for instance, I mean, this one, the first one, waste to energy to microalgae, it is about 85-91 million euros. So you can imagine it is a huge project. And then in that case, this means that we are supervising, we are supporting, I mean, this consortium in order to develop the whole project, the whole idea. So this means the business plan, first of all, I mean, the idea, then the business plan, then, I mean, let's say the feasibility study. And then once that everything is clear, we supported as well as this consortium, I mean, going to the Canary Island to meet, I mean, organize meeting with the different, let's say, institution that might be and should be involved in this project. And then finally, I mean, we review the different parts of the project, and then we are going to search screening. I mean, we are going to screening. I mean, some call for proposal or European programs and national program and local programs, in order to find the resources to develop this project. And then once, I mean, the project is so this means in order to develop this project, especially the first one, we need more than one project. That means more than one call. So we are going to organize different, we are going to search different call for proposal, and so we are going to input in the different call for proposal different part of the project. So it might be, for instance, that we are going to apply for an Horizon 2020 project call for the waste side, and then we are going to apply for another, for instance, a national program, I mean, for the energy side, and then for the microalgae, we are going to apply for another call, and so on. And maybe as well as we are going to apply for the European Investment Bank. So actually what we did, which is the stage of this project? At the stage of this project, it is that we already did, I mean, let's say that we already developed the idea, we already developed, I mean, let's say the business plan, we already developed the feasibility study, we already managed, I mean, to organize the consortium between Italy and Spain and the Canary Islands, precisely. And actually, we are going into details, I mean, the business plan in order to check whether, I mean, everything is in line with the previous business plan and so on. And now we have everything clear, and now we can start to develop, I mean, the real project. So this is the situation. All these, let's say, let's say, all these activities already costed some, let's say, investment. We talk about 350,000 euros, about, more or less. So this is the point. So I skipped the first two. Oh, sorry. So I skipped the first two, let's say, slides, since I mean, well, the first one, it is the introduction that I left to, in order that Julia, she knows who I am at least. And then the second one, eh?
Well, I said, of course, I know.
No, just we don't have to take us, I mean, too seriously, let's say, because it doesn't make sense. So this is the second introduction. It is about who we are. I mean, in Brussels, here the EU about. That means we work at the whole complete value chain of the, let's say, the European affairs. That means research, policy analysis, and then business plan, and then screening project, going to call for proposal, and then writing project, and then managing proposal for our project proposal for our clients and members, which might be SMEs, local authorities, and national government. The second part of this introduction, it is that probably you already know it. It is this period. It is quite very intensive and very interesting period, because every 15 years, more or less, at European level, we have this kind of magic moment in which, I mean, the political cycle, the budget cycle, that means the multi-financial framework cycle and the strategic cycle, more or less, they start all together. So the political cycle started in 2019. That means the European Parliament and Commission. And then the MFF, that means the multi-financial framework, is going to start in 2021, January 2021, so within 1 month and a half, even if it is not already approved. And then the third one, it is the strategic cycle, which is a 10 years plan. Then the Europe 2020 is going to finish, I mean, in December, and then it starts, I mean, the Europe 2030 strategy. So this is a very important, let's say, moment. Actually, here, if you want, you can find some, let's say, some explanation about the Green Deal, but I guess you already know it. And then it is the, let's say, the 5-year plan of the Commission, and this is, I mean, how it's planned. So here you can find, I mean, more or less what is the situation. So the Commission, the President of the Commission is Ursula von der Leyen, and then Frans Timmermans, who is the Dutch guy, he is the Green Deal, the Green Deal Commissioner. So these are the EU will, that means become climate neutral by 2050, protect human life, animals and plants by cutting pollution, help companies become world leaders in clean products and technology, and finally help ensure just and inclusive transition. So some figures, 93% of Europeans see climate change as a serious problem, 93% of Europeans see. These are data according to Eurobarometer that I think you already know it. I guess you know it about Eurobarometer survey. Do you know?
Yes, I don't know if the other participants also would like to, to confirm.
If you want, I mean, maybe we can interact as well. By the way, Eurobarometer, it is the European Eurobarometer, of course, survey. It started in 1973 and has two different kind of, let's say, sections. One is it is the standard one. It's going to be run 2 times per year for a specific area, that's such as, I mean, the European feeling, I mean, by the European citizen. That means whether they are more European or less European, and then the euro currency, and then the single market, all those kind of stuff. And then there are some others, special, let's say, Eurobarometer survey, which will be generally run within 2, 3 years, 4 years, something like this. So these are more or less the main, let's say, target. That means energy, it is the production and use of energy accounts for more than 75% of the EU GGH emission, greenhouse gas emissions. Then buildings are 40%, industries 12%, and finally mobility, which is about 25%. Sorry, but I have the mobile phone here. Then regarding, so this one you can find it, I mean, the MFF, while it is the multi-financial framework, actually has been already approved. I mean, the first release of the MFF, the multi-financial framework, and more or less it is this one. So you can find here, it is a bit revisioned according to the difference between the Europe 20, let's say the previous multi-financial framework 2014-2020. And then it is about the European budget, it is about 1% of GNP, that means the gross national product of each country, of course. And then this is more or less, I mean, let's say the total budget. So it is 1,279 billion euro, and the single market, it is about 187, and then cohesion and value, it is 442 millions, and then billions, sorry. And then natural resource environment, it is 378, and then security and defense, it is 27 billions, neighborhood and the world, it is 123, which is external action, which is international cooperation, and then European public administration, which is about 6%, about 6-7% of the total budget, which is the administration cost of the European Union. And then 34 billions, it is about migration, border management. So this is how it's working, I mean, the new financial framework program from 2021 up to 2027. So just to get an idea. And then you have, I mean, the Europe 2030 strategy. I'm going to skip, by the way, you can find it here. By the way, it is based on circular economy from farm to fork. I mean, these are the main area of, let's say, 2030 strategy: circular economy from farm to fork, energy, that means renewable energy, energy efficiency, and transport, and social sustainability. So this is more or less the situation about. Then there is the blue and the blue economy and blue growth, which is one specific area, and this is quite important. I'm not going to introduce you because probably you already know it, but so you have the slide, so you can find it.
Yes, we already had an introduction about the blue economy in the other meeting, but of course the participants can also have more information through these slides in a second moment.
So you can find here mainly, I mean, what is really important, I guess it is the second, well, the third part, sorry, sea-basin strategy to ensure tailor-made measures and to foster cooperation between countries. Particularly, many people and most of the people, they don't, let's say, they don't pay attention particularly to the motorways of the sea. I do not know whether you already discussed about it. Yes or not?
No.
Yeah, so the motorways of the sea, it is a very important aspect of the blue economy and blue growth system, because the motorway, I mean, of the sea. What does it mean? It means that these motorways of the sea will be highly linked to the corridors, the European corridors. Do you know about the European corridors? The European corridors, we talk about the corridor, for instance, from Lisbon to Kiev, which is the corridor which links the whole, in horizontal way, the whole European countries from Lisbon to Kiev, and then from Lisbon to Warsaw, and then from Lisbon to Latvia, Estonia, and so on. On the other hand, we have as well as, I mean, the south-north corridors, which means highways, trains and highways, okay? High-speed trains. So transborder, let's say, transport cooperation. So it means, for instance, the Palermo-Brussels corridor, from the Athens, the Rostock corridor, and so on. These are, let's say, the network, highways network, and train railway network that is going to, let's say, link the whole 27 European countries within them, with the high-speed train and the highways in Europe within the next 2030 to 2035, let's say, program. So that is the European, let's say, transport network, okay? It is very crucial, because this means that, for instance, you can travel from Lisbon to Madrid with a high-speed train, and you can travel from Madrid to Paris with a high-speed train, and from Madrid to Lisbon to Brussels with a high-speed train, because there will be a connection, trans-border connection between the different countries, and each country has its own high-speed train. So this means, for instance, from Torino to Paris and to Brussels, it takes about 4 hours and a half by train.
Paolo,
Yes.
I would like, given the fact that we are all here, people more or less involved in European Union projects, well, because it's true that after it's going to be seen by all participants, but given the fact that we are all here, people managing EU projects, I would like first of all ask you a question. Are you the colleagues or whatever of Gabriele Sospiro? Is your brother
Yeah,
or
he's
whatever?
my brother. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So we have a connection.
We look similar.
Okay, because we have worked with him. We have a lot of proposal with him. We collaborate in. I don't know if you were in the same organization or not.
No. I work in EU About, and this is a technical, let's say, organization. So we work mainly on technical issues. That means energy, transport, waste management, water supply, circular economy, and climate change. While on the other hand, Gabriele with ISIPA is works on, let's say, social innovation, migration, and so on, and refugees and young people and so on. We work mainly on technical issues.
Nice, because Christina and me, we know very well him because well, he's a host entrepreneur in the program Erasmus for Young Entrepreneur. He's in our consortium. Well, he works with the Belgian Chamber of Commerce, that is our partner in our consortium. And in addition, last October he came here to Granada, to our place, for a meeting that we did, and also we have participated in other projects like Erasmus Plus, the Action Shoe proposal, but finally it has not been approved. But in any case, we are always in contact with him, so it's nice to know it. And yes, it's very interesting to know. I would like to, if it's okay for you, to know a little bit more about the proposal and the project that you have now in execution, or also maybe in as potential proposal, because maybe we can do some synergy between all of us, because also Jose Angel, who is here connected, he has an association in Murcia, and he's also an intermediate organization of the Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs program. They are really very active in EU projects. So maybe you can tell us a little bit some proposals, some ideas that you are working on, let's see.
Yeah. I mean, actually, I'm going to go forward. I mean, with these two, let's say, with these projects, with two projects we are working with, and then at the end, I mean, I hope, I mean, we can have we have a 1 hour and a half, more or less, no, isn't it?
Yes, between
Yes.
1
So
hour and
I'm
1 hour
going
and a half.
Yeah, so I'm going to speak about another 20-25 minutes, and then we can discuss, and so we can discuss as well as about these aspects, okay?
But of course, during the presentation, I mean, if there is any question about the project, we can also.
Of course. Well, let's say that generally speaking, I would prefer, I mean, to get a kind of interaction, because otherwise it becomes a bit boring, okay? So I just show you this last part in order to finalize, I mean, this part, which is the motorways of sea. This is a very important aspect, because it means that the link between corridors and the different seas, it is allowed through these two, let's say, aspects. That means one, the highways, and the other one, so this is the motorway of seas. And then here after you can find, I mean, the maps. So this means the people and let's say the business, they can use, I mean, the highways, the trains, and as well as, I mean, the ferry boats and so on, in order to make a business and to relate to one another and so on. These are, at the end, these are the motorways which the European Union is developing together with the European, let's say, transnational highways and trains, railways all over Europe. So as you can see, it's developing, this kind of a system in which it will be possible. You see, these are the highways, which are the corridors. Then it will be possible, to use the ferry boats or boats and then arrive in one of the European ports, and then will be possible, to get the train or to get, the highway. So just to get an idea, this is very important aspect about blue economy. So, okay, saying that, I'm going to come back to the presentation, and then this one. So this is the SDGs, which are highly linked as well as to the 2030, let's say, agenda of the European Union. Probably you already know it. By the way, you will find it. Waste to energy to microalgae, it is the project that we are following, and this is the list of acronyms that generally, you don't need it at this moment, but probably if you would like to review, the presentation, you can find it. So the main idea it is to produce a microalgae at low cost thanks to the smart use of a differentiated waste in order to have low cost energy and CO2. What is the main point? The main point it is that what we are doing it is that we are going to offer to the local authorities in the Canary Islands the opportunity to, let's say, to reduce the waste, particularly, sewage and let's say, biomass and as well as, touristic, let's say, waste. And then this means that it not become a burden for the local authorities. So we can be able, to buy, let's say, to get, this waste by the local authorities. And then with this waste, we are going to produce, on one hand, we are going to produce biogas, so bioenergy on one hand. And when we produce bioenergy, it means that we are going to produce as well as the CO2. This CO2 should be, spread in the atmosphere, while since, the microalgae needs, the CO2, so this means that we can capture the CO2 that we are going to, let's say, to produce when we burn, the waste, and then we produce the bioenergy, the biomass, bioenergy, and so on. Then we can get, the CO2, and we can produce the microalgae. Then this means that we are using the energy to produce, the microalgae, and we are using as well as, the CO2 to produce the microalgae, because the microalgae they use and they need, the CO2. Once that we produce the microalgae, of course, we are going to sell, microalgae to the pharmaceutical companies and the cosmetical companies, okay? So this is the main point. And the Canary Island, it is a perfect environment because, let's say the temperature and the weather is perfect for microalgae. And in fact, in the Canary Island, there are a lot of companies which produce pharmaceutical and cosmetical products. So for this reason, we decided that the first plant of this project should be in the Canary Island. The second one should be, in Malta, and the third one probably will be in Crete. So the main point it is that we have 4 different kind of section of this plant, in which the first one is going to let's say to rework, the waste. The second part of the plant is going to I'm going to show you, let's say, the plant. So just a minute. So this is the whole. So this is the complete plant, okay? This is the first part, it is the plant concern. This is the plant for the biogas. That means here we get, the waste. Here we get the waste. We are going to burn the waste through the biogas plant. And then we produce the CO2, which is this one. And we produce the biogas, that means the bioenergy, in this way through the CHP module, okay? And then what we are going to do, it is that here we have the microalgae, let's say, system plant, in which we are going to input the CO2 CO2, and we are going to input as well as the energy, and then we are going to produce the microalgae. The microalgae is going to release this one, that means biofuel, food, and dry matter, and then on the last part of the plant, it is the PV panel, that means the photovoltaic panels. This means that this plant is completely independent by the grid, that means by the electrical network, is going to support, let's say, the local authority in order to manage, I mean, the waste, especially during the, let's say, the touristic period. And at the same time, it is possible as well as to produce energy from the sun, that means the PV, and from the waste. On the other hand, of course, we are going to sell as well as, I mean, microalgae. So coming back just a bit, this is the biogas plant, as you can see. So this is the FORSU, that means this is the sewage and waste that we are going to input in the plant. Here we have as well as the green waste, which is the biomass. Then we get the compost, and we get the waste, and we are going to work, I mean, on it through the biogas plant. And then we are going to produce bioenergy with the CHP module. And here you can find, I mean, the value, I mean, in terms of kilowatts, in terms of kilowatts per hour per year, and so on and so forth. And the electrical energy produced, it is 8,000 megawatt per hour per year. Okay, everything is clear?
I think so. What about the other participants?
Very clear. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Paolo.
The second one, it is, I mean, here, this one, it is the whole passage and the part of the plant which is for microalgae. And then you can see how the different parts, that means the first, what we need, that means the fertilizer, salt, glycerin, ethanol, sulfuric acid, and so on. Fresnel lens system, water initial phase, and so on. And then here we have, I mean, the process and so on. And finally, we have the last one, which is the photovoltaic one. Here we have the sun. This is the PV plant. And here are the data regarding how much energy we are going to produce. As you can see, I mean, here there are the electrical energy that is going to input, and this is the gas, and so on. So this project, this is a huge plant. It is a plant which is going to cost at the end about 85 million euros. This is the first innovative plant that has been developed in Sicily, which it is already up and run. It is already working, and in this case, this is the first level, the first experimental plant, and in this case, this plant is going to, let's say, to work and rework, I mean, waste, and has as well as, I mean, the PV plant, but it doesn't have, I mean, the bioenergy plant. So with the Canary Island, let's say, plant, we would like to include as well as the bioenergy system, and as well as, I mean, capture, I mean, the CO2 in order to produce microalgae. This means that the project can be, this plant can be able to earn or make, raise a revenue through gathering, I mean, waste, which will be paid by the local authorities. Is it clear, this aspect?
Yes.
It means, I mean, yeah, the local authorities, they are
which part of Sicily has been developed?
This is close to Ragusa.
Okay.
This means the local authorities, they are going to pay this plant in order to rework, I mean, and waste and burn the waste. Okay. So this is the first earning. This is the first revenue of this plant. That means the local authorities, they are going to pay this plant in order to manage, I mean, the waste. The second one, it is that we are going to produce, let's say, bioenergy, which will be partly used by the plant, but partly will be distributed through the, will be give back to the grid. So this let's say, energy produced is going to be available for the Canary Island. The third one will be, I mean, the PV photovoltaic plant, which is going to be used partly in the plant, but it will be as well as released to the grid. So we will get some money as well as on that side. And finally, I mean, there will be as well as, I mean, the microalgae production, which will be sold to the pharmaceutical and cosmetical company. So this is more or less the situation. So I'm not going to, to go into details about, the introduction and so on, but this is more or less, let's say the system. Here you have, the table in which you can find, the capital costs, let's say the operational and maintenance cost, the energy produced and needed, and then the energy cost and revenue, and then the plant revenue, and then the void CO2 emissions. Okay, so you can find all the data regarding the product. Here it is overview prominent product for microalgae. That means that we can produce nutraceutical products, cosmetic products, and pharmaceutical products. Medium to high value, that means we can have spirulina, hydrocolloids, and chemicals, and then fertilizer substitute for synthesis and bioremediation. This is a low to high value. These are the main companies which might be, our, let's say market. And then we can use them. These are, let's say, the innovation in this plant. So reuse of low value stream, reach a high value market, and so on. So you can find later on. Target use, local authority for the forestry, that means for the waste, and then nutraceutical, pharmaceutical, cosmetic companies for the microalgae, and then new sustainable loop plants buyers, which means that this plant can be, let's say, replicated in some other context in which we don't want to be involved, but we can support them to produce, let's say, to set up, this plant. Target market size, growth rate, and market trends you can find here. So which are, the main issues related, the business. And then these are the main, let's say, microalgae and algae production in different parts of the world. As you can see, in Europe, it's not so developed. But during the next 10 years and 15 years up to 2050 will be highly developed as well as in Europe. But mainly the microalgae and algae are highly developed in Southeast Asia, especially China, as you can see, Japan, and so on. So we analyze it as well as this market. Then the global growth of all waste to energy technologies. This is the situation. And then expect impact. This is the expected income impact in terms of profit increase. So it means 480%. Electrical energy production, electrical energy PV, waste to landfill weight reduction. That means in Canary Island, part of the waste will not be, let's say, throughout to the landfill. And then here we have the amount of CO2 reduction in tons per year, which is 7,120. Prior investment, which will be increased by 30%. Leverage on waste disposal, 5%. Leverage of microalgae-based products, 8%. And then new plants in 5 years. We plan that there might be another 5 plants all over in Europe in the next 5 years. Everything is clear?
Yes.
Perfect. So these are the profit increase, electrical energy from biogas, PV, CO2 reduction, the calculation, and everything that you can find later on. That's it. Everything is clear, so we can go to the second project.
I don't know if the participants have any question or observation about the first project, or if they would prefer to to ask, to comment in the last part. I'm just verifying if there is any question for now.
Okay, there is no question here, but just wanted to share some information because I live in the south of Spain, in Cádiz.
Yes, close to Huelva.
Sorry?
Close to Huelva.
Yes, very close to Huelva. And exactly,
Guadalquivir.
yeah, and exactly la frontera. And also here, there is a big project about the algae.
Okay.
Yes, they are producing biogas through the algae.
So it's quite interesting. So we can cooperate together.
Maybe I can give you the contact.
Yeah, definitely.
They started a few years ago the research 9 years ago, and they started to show some shows. I don't know exactly how to say. 3 years ago.
Some let's say, some let's say options or some let's say products. Okay, so by the way,
Paolo,
yes.
Which are your partners in the Canary Islands?
Well, first of all, the local authorities. Second, I mean, the Institute for Microalgae. Third, I mean, the municipalities, the local municipality companies for waste. Especially, I mean, in Gran Canaria and Tenerife.
When you say local authorities, you mean the regional government, local
regional
municipalities?
Yeah, the regional government plus, let's say, the two, let's say, the two local authorities in Gran Canaria and Tenerife.
Cabildo, the Cabildo.
The Cabildo, yes, and plus, of course, the European Parliament, member parliament.
Nice, very nice.
So so this is more or less the situation.
And what about the CISL project? Are the same partners or different ones?
The consortium is the same. It is an Italian consortium composed by different companies. The one is a company which works on developing, set up, I mean, plans on waste management. The second one, it is about bioenergy. The third one, it is about PV, that means photovoltaic. And the fourth one, it is University of Florence for the microalgae.
Okay, thank you.
Which is in Cascine. How you know it? The agro-tropical faculty.
Here in Florence.
Tropical, yes, in Florence.
Okay, yes, I know it.
In Le Cascine.
Yes, Le Cascine. Yes, here in Tuscany, we don't really pronounce the C.
Yeah, definitely. Nice. So I'm going to the second one.
Yes, second project.
Clean ship project. This is a boat developed by Garbage, which is a company which is highly specialized on, let's say, water waste management in ports and all over in the Adriatic Sea, especially in Ancona. And then they develop, I mean, this boat, which can be able to gather, I mean, waste and mainly plastic in the sea. So this is, there are different level of boats. So there are 3 levels, the small one, medium one, and large one. So this is mainly, I mean, this is, I guess, I mean, it is the small one. We are supporting them on developing this business, especially commercialization and so on. Because at the end, I mean, the project in terms of developing, I mean, the boat, it is already done. It is already, I mean, up and run, I mean, the boat. So this is how is developed, I mean, the boat, Pelican main features. I'm going to leave you the presentation, but I just show you, I mean, some picture how it works. These are the partners. That means the leader of the product of this consortium is Garbage Service. Then the CPN, it is let's say the construction partner. Then this is the consortium of let's say which is going to support, I mean, the 2 partners for the, let's say, for the raw material, intermediate material, and then Novamont, which is the industrial company founded by a group and researcher, which is specialized on green industry. So this is the boat. As you can see, it works in this way. Can you see it? So when it doesn't work, it is in this way. You see, it is the front side, it is closed. While when it's working, the front side is going to open. Here there is the system in order to get, I mean, the plastic. You see? So this system, it is in order to get, I mean, the plastic in the sea. Is it clear?
Okay. Yes, it's like it opens when it's working.
So, of course, on the top of the roof, there are, I mean, the PV, photovoltaic, I mean, cells. So, and there are two different versions. One, it is with the oil, let's say, fuel. The other one, it is with electrical energy. So, it might be as well as electric. Then, as you can see here, it is a specific part of the front side of the boat. As you can see, in this way, it is closed. This is the part of the boat which allows, I mean, to work and gather, I mean, the plastics and select, I mean, the different level of the plastics and so on. This is the rear part of the boat. And this is how it works as well as with, not with the plastic, but with the oil.
Okay, so
yes.
Also with oil. Okay,
so liquid, let's say liquid, I mean, pollution. So.
And in which area are you using this?
Well, at this moment, mainly, I mean, this kind of boats are used inside the port and right close to the ports. So in different ports, I mean, this boat has been bought by different port authorities, I mean, in Malaysia, in Thailand, in Indonesia. And actually, they are planning, I mean, they have a kind of contract with Brazil, and actually they are finalizing a contract as well as in Canada. So generally, actually, this is used mainly in Adriatic Sea with different ports on one side and the other. That means in the Italian side and the Croatian side and Slovenia and so on. So, yes?
I will say thank you for the information. Now it's more clear also because it's used also here in the Adriatic Sea.
But actually, they are having different approaches with, let's say, port authority in Sicily, in Toscana, in Campania, and so on. So, I mean, let's say, is developing, I mean, its commercial, let's say, structure as well. So we are.
So in the future, we will have more in Italy.
The main point, because you have to think about that, of course, these boats should be constructed. So, and it takes about between 4 or 6 months to build, I mean, this boat. So, I mean, the company garbage and so on, they have to pay attention in order to get, I mean, the orders and to be able, I mean, to build, I mean, the boats, because otherwise they can get the orders, but they cannot be able to fulfill, I mean, to release, I mean, to deliver, I mean, the boats on time. So, so this is an aspect that should be taken into account. By the way, what we are doing with this consortium is that we are supporting them in order to get a new financial support by the European Investment Bank in terms of financial support, and as well as financial support in terms of grants. I mean, the European Investment Bank, it is in terms of loans, while in terms of, let's say, grants by the Horizon 2020 and following Horizon Europe, in order to still continue, I mean, to develop, I mean, this investment and improving, I mean, the boat, improving as well as, I mean, the different services which should be useful and necessary in the, let's say, in let's say inland. That means inside the port and outside the port. That means this is actually, I mean, the situation, it is perfectly workable in terms of the sea. That means the boat works and so on. But then this plastic and this pollution should be reworked once that is has been brought. I mean, in the port and then in the land. So this means should be developed many other services that should accompany, I mean, this activity. So this is more or less the situation. So this is, I mean, how it works. I mean, you can see some pictures about the boats. These are the technical specification of the boat. And then these are, I mean, the different, let's say, competitors of the boats. As you can see, I mean, Pelican can be able, I mean, to fulfill the different kind of aspects. That means all water separators, sweeper boats, firefighting, trailer ball, water sanitation, and algae collection. So Pelican, it is the only one with EcoBoat Speaker MAR that can be able to do this kind, all of them, I mean, activities, but Pelican is able to do it better than as well as EcoBoat Speaker MAR. So I think more or less these are the three main different type of boats. So we have the large one, we have the medium one, we have as well as the small one that they don't use. They use only for to let's say to rent. And then there is this hybrid let's say as well as a system of Pelican. That's it.
I have a question. How do you choose the kind of boat to use? Which is the differences apart from the dimensions?
Well, it depends, I mean, by the cost, of course, by the type of services they have to do it, and by the level of, let's say, the engagement and the level, I mean, of condition in terms of pollution, I mean, by the sea. And finally, as well as, I mean, it depends as well as, I mean, the type of contract that this company, Garbage and the consortium, they are going to deal with, well, let's say, with the client. There are three different type of contracts they can deal. The first one, it is the client is going to buy the boat. The second one, and let's say the client is going to rent the boat. And the third one, I mean, it is a sponsorship. Sponsorship, it means that, I mean, the service will be provided by the consortium, but, I mean, specific, I mean, client can, let's say, can sponsor, I mean, the activity. So actually, for instance, there is, I mean, a sponsorship signed by this consortium with Enel. I don't know whether you know Enel. It is, let's say, the biggest Italian company, energy provider in Italy. And then they decided that during the next summer they are going to use one of these boats in 10 different Italian ports, and this boat will be, let's say, labeled by Enel, and they will use, I mean, the hybrid, let's say, boat, and then, I mean, Enel can be able, I mean, to get visibility in terms of as a clean company and so on, because they are going to gather, I mean, waste in the sea through this boat, thanks to Enel. So this kind of, let's say, of contracts are really highly appreciated by the sponsors. Then, for instance, actually next summer, there will be as well as this kind of sponsorship contract with TIM Brazil, which is a telecommunication company. So, and there will be as well as in Canada with another telecommunication company in Canada.
Okay, so big companies use this project for promotional reason, like to show their interest in sustainability projects.
Yeah, definitely. So there are three main, let's say, ways in which, I mean, this boat can be sold, let's say. The first one, it is they buy, I mean, this boat, such as is happening actually in Gulf countries, in Emirates and so on. Some others, they are going to rent the boat for 1 year, 2 years, and 3 years, and then therefore, I mean, this consortium is going to manage, I mean, their maintenance. And finally, I mean, in terms of sponsorship, in that case, I mean, the service will be provided by the consortium, and then the sponsor is going to pay, I mean, the whole service.
Okay, thank you very much. So now is the moment for if the other participants also have any comments about also this project, the cleaning ship. I don't know if they maybe have heard about similar projects in your region, or if you think it should be applied also in your region. What do you believe?
It is very important to. It's so very interesting this kind of projects because yes, it's a way at the end to clean the seas, no, and have a better condition in the seas. It's a pity that we don't have here our entrepreneur Agnes, because she has very similar business idea. She would like, well, it's not exactly the same. She's going to use the boats to clean, how to explain, to catch, to take the rubbish from the touristic boats in the sea. Obviously, not the same. This is a totally different way of cleaning the sea, but at the end, it's a way to use boats to avoid to have dirty seas, no? So, well, it's nice to know. How is exactly this project in a commercial point of view? So, is it still a prototype? Are you working?
No, it is already in the market.
It's already in market, and it is working well.
Well, it's working quite well. Taking into account actually during the COVID, it's not so easy, I mean, to work on these kind of issues, but it's working quite well, I mean. The main point, of course, there is a kind of a lag delay, no? Because, of course, you need, I mean, to commercialize, I mean, this, let's say, this boat, then you get the orders, and once that you get the orders, you have to build the boat. So it means there is a kind of lag of 4-6 months between the order and the let's say the delivery of the boat.
And do you have also private clients, or all are public institutions?
No, I mean it depends. What does it mean? I mean private or public institutions. I mean,
so
for instance,
they are
Port Authority. They are let's say. They are companies, but they are owned by the public, no?
Well, depending on the country.
They are not institutions, but they are public. No, generally speaking, by the way, they are mostly they are public, of course.
Okay, because normally this service is deficitary in a budget point of view. So yeah, normally it has is more a cost than so it costs more than maybe it's the improvement that it produces in an economical point of view, I mean.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's make the difference for public or private.
Yeah, definitely. But you know, these kind of services, of course, they are, let's say, provided by the public, let's say, sector, or through a company, by the way, always by the public sector, no? I mean, it is quite common. I mean, it is very difficult. I mean, it is not so common that, I mean, port, let's say the waste management at the port, in the port or outside the port, I mean, in the close to the port, are managed, is managed by private, let's say, companies. Or better, I mean, they can be managed or done by the private companies, but according to the public procurement. So according to the bid, most of the port authorities, of course, they are going to launch a bid, and then, I mean, different companies, they are going to participate in order to manage, I mean, the waste management in different ports, and of course, let's say the ferry boats and so on. So generally, it is, I mean, the market, it is highly towards, I mean, the public institutions.
Okay, thank you for this explanation. So now, if the other participants would dare to also share their ideas or point of view about this project, or to know more about these topics, now that's the moment. Don't be shy. It's a good opportunity for you.
No, otherwise, you told me, Abel, that you would like to know about project and call and something like this, no?
Yes, a little bit
What do you mean?
to know in which kind of proposal are you working now. This is always interesting to know. In order to know if maybe there could be any synergy with us, with any of us.
Well, let's say generally, what we used to work, I mean, as you about, we don't work, I mean, we are not submitting proposal by ourselves. That means we are not involved in projects. We support, let's say, SMEs, local authorities, national governments, and so on this kind of, let's say, path. It means developing business plan, developing ideas, screening call for proposal, writing project, and supporting them on managing project. Okay, as you about, generally we don't submit any project, because this is not our, let's say, core business, and we are not interested on submitting proposal. What we can do it is that we used to work with the SMEs through, for instance, the SME instrument. Do you know the SME instrument? Yes, which is actually it is, let's say, the EIC, no?
Yes, now it has changed. Now there is no anymore the
phase one.
Now is the the phase one. The phase one.
Yeah, phase one, phase three are not available anymore, and but you have, I mean, the phase two. Well, there is only phase one, which mainly it is phase two and phase three together. So we use up to apply mostly for our clients and members on SME instrument, or whatever you call it. And we used to apply for, as you know, I mean, the EIC actually it is about 2.5 million in terms of grants and about 50 millions in terms of equity. So we support, I mean, our clients and our members to apply for this call. And then we used to apply for H2020, that means Horizon 2020. Even in this case, we are not going to apply for SAU about, but we are going to support, I mean, clients and members. And then of course we support, I mean, as well as for the European Investment Bank in order to get loans, but always for third parties. That means governments and national governments and local authorities and SMEs and so on. And then, well, in Erasmus Plus, we used to work mainly on knowledge alliance and sector skills alliance, rarely capacity building. While strategic partnership, well, one or two per year, not more than it. So this is not while we don't use to work on K Action 1 and so on. So capacity building, it might be one or two per year, strategic partner 1-2 per year, and while sector skills and knowledge alliance, it might be about 4 or 5 per year.
Well, this is an important number because, as you perfectly know, this is a time-consuming activity. So to present all this proposal not always is easy. And how many people are you working there?
Well, let's say that in terms of staff, we are about 5-6. Let's say in terms of staff, but and then we have about let's say temporary staff, which might be about another 7, 8. And then we have about, let's say, about 8, 10 trainees.
Okay, this is a lot.
So this is more or less the situation. So we can cooperate, of course, but generally we don't use to write project for us.
No,
So,
yeah, it's just to, well, I was telling it in general, no, because always I have the idea that it's always good to know, so at least to know, because who knows what can come in the in the future. Okay, Paolo, so thank you very much. There is any other question by the public, by the participants?
Yeah. And also, as you mentioned before, about if the participants who couldn't join today, who has a similar business idea, probably she can. I can share with her Paolo's contact, so maybe they can also maybe start a collaboration in the future. Who knows?
yeah, that for instance, we are highly interested. For instance, I mean, well, as I told you, I mean, we work mainly on those 4 areas. That mean energy, transport, waste management, and water supply. And for instance, we are highly interested, for instance, working on the digitization of, for instance, local transport. This is something that we are highly, let's say, support and highly, let's say, recommend, I mean, to local authorities. It means that, or for instance, I mean, you can develop companies or let's say startup and so on, which might support, I mean, local authorities, I mean, municipalities, companies, transport companies, in order to develop, I mean, on-demand, let's say, services.
Okay.
This is something that we really like and we really appreciate. That it's not so difficult to let's say to get funds, but it is very important because it means that we can improve services for the, let's say, for the people,
Of course.
and as well as we can decrease, I mean, the cost for the local authorities. This happens as well, I mean, in waste management, because we know that it's feasible. I mean, think about, I mean, in the Netherlands, actually, for instance, regarding, I mean, the waste management, I mean, let's say the tariff for the waste management, I mean, the people, the households, they don't pay anymore the tariff for the waste management, okay? On the other hand, I mean, the local authorities, they used to get the revenue by the companies who manage, I mean, the waste management, just to get an idea.
Yes.
So it's a very important aspect. On the other hand, for instance, for local transportation, for instance, with the on-demand system based on apps, that means so based on digitization and so on, we can reduce, I mean, the cost for for these companies, I mean, which are owned by the local, by the municipalities. We can reduce the cost about 35, 40%. And we can improve the services. That means the availability of the public transportation. I mean, for the people, almost on real time.
Okay,
I
so
do not know whether, I mean, do you have any idea how it works, this kind of system?
yes, I see this. Abel.
Yes,
Yes.
we know, not exactly, but yes, in general, we know how it works.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in that case, I think, I mean, what we really work on this kind of here as you about it is to reduce, I mean, the cost and to improve the services.
Yeah.
Or everything that can be feasible, everything that allows, I mean, to the local authorities and so on to improve the services and reduce costs through digitization and reducing, of course, pollution and CO2 emission and so on. So mainly this is our what we would like to work and how we would like to recommend and to support, I mean, the local authorities and as well as startups and so on. Supporting, I mean, of this kind of, let's say, activities and services.
Okay, so again, thank you very much, Paolo, for sharing your projects. And again, if the participants, also the people who will watch this presentation later, would like to ask or get or have more information, I will provide them the contact information. And I remember that tomorrow we will see again in the morning at 10 a.m.
Okay. Once the last aspect, I will ask you, I mean, to avoid to spread, I mean, this presentation. Use it, I mean, within, I mean, this, let's say, stage and this, let's say, group, but avoiding, I mean, to let's say, to spread, I mean, this presentation beyond, I mean, this course and this training. Okay.
Yes, in this
because there are some, let's say, not sensitive, but there are some, let's say, information and some aspects that it is better to avoid, I mean, to spread all over, I mean, on internet or whatever. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Have a nice afternoon.
Thank you very much,
you,
Paolo.
Paolo.
Bye to everybody.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Buongiorno,
Thank you.
Bye.
Julia, one
Yes.
question. Tomorrow you told us at 10, no?
Yes, tomorrow at 10.
Okay,
Yes.
don't make a mistake. At 10 nights in Canary Islands. Okay.
Yes, of course, if you can connect a few minutes before, so.
Yes,
and
yes.
then
Well, tomorrow I cannot be here at 10, but in any case, Christina will be. Okay, so she will support you in all this event. Okay, so thank you very much and see you. Y hasta mañana, que ya no está Paolo.
Sì.
Mañana a las 10.
Ciao.
Preferisco la mattina. Ciao, ciao, Dio.